Insight now from Catherine de Vries. She's a professor of government at the University of Essex. She joins us now from Colchester, England. Thanks so much for joining us on TRT World. How much do you think Mark Rutte should be celebrating here? The extreme right still has 19 seats in parliament, and some are saying that Rutte really only won because he barred Turkish politicians, possibly against UN conventions.
So I think what's important to remember is that actually Mark Rutte's party is doing better than the polls predicted, let's say, the last couple of months. But overall, his party has still lost 10 seats. So him celebrating a victory is a bit odd in that way. He has definitely lost many seats. Interestingly, I think the exit poll suggests that for voters of his party, the economy was the biggest concern. So the majority of them said they voted for Mark Rutte because the economy is doing well or is doing better, at least when he took office. As the second important reason is his kind of harsh line on immigration, and probably also his harsh tone in the current incident, a diplomatic incident with Turkey.
What do you think the center-right and other parties will have to do to keep populists at bay from now forward?
Yeah, so Mark Rutte celebrated this as a victory against the wrong kind of populism. But the question is a little bit at what cost? His election campaign, at least in the last couple of months, was fought on many of the same issues and with very much of the same tone that Geert Wilders has been campaigning in the Netherlands for over a decade now. So in that way, actually, I think Geert Wilders might not have won this election, but in many ways, his issues and his policies have been center stage in the Dutch political debates, and Mark Rutte's voters are going to expect at least him to deliver on some of these issues. So it seems to suggest, at least in the short term, that you can win off this kind of populist surge or turn the populist tide by taking over, co-opting some of their issues. The question just is this a long-term goal that's sustainable, and will it not make Wilders even bigger in the kind of elections that will come in 4 years from now?
Right. So you could really only say that the EU can only temporarily then breathe a sigh of relief?
Yeah, so I think what's important to remember is that we've gained kind of a lot of interest into Dutch elections and the French elections recently because of, I guess, because of Brexit and Trump. But these populist forces have been in Dutch or French politics, or also in other continental European countries, for decades now. And they have been mobilizing the same type of sentiment, so anti-immigration, anti-EU sentiment. Sometimes these parties fail, but then you have new parties coming up mobilizing the same type of sentiment. And what you've seen has changed in recent years, that a lot of mainstream politicians, especially the mainstream right, have taken on some of these issues. So I'm not sure. It's at least an undercurrent that will not be solved just by winning one election.
Okay, Catherine de Vries, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from Colchester.